So last week, Christy and I didn't make an episode. We didn't post, and we didn't have a Zoom conversation because a lot of our week last week was doing research, educating ourselves, trying to stay up to date with what's happening right now in the Black Lives Matter movement.
And we hope that we can make this video and it can be something that's 10 minutes that can bring you joy, but we also want to make sure that we are still contributing to this movement and helping to progress it further. And so we have dedicated this video to BEAM, which stands for Black Emotional and Mental Health. They're a training, movement building, and grant making organization that are dedicated to the healing, wellness, and liberation of Black and marginalized communities with a focus on mental health.
We actually got this resource from a website which has a master link of several different Black-owned organizations or organizations that are really supporting Black people during this time.
We chose this organization out of the 115 just because it focuses on having a mental healing and liberation space for Black people. And during this time, there's been so much in the media. We're just seeing new acts of violence and brutality against Black people on social media, like almost every single day, and it can be a lot.
So Christy and I are going to make our own donation to BEAM, but we want to encourage you all to do the same. We're really happy to be supporting this organization, and we hope that you all can do the same.
Topics.
Ready?
Ready.
Christy, I have a question for you. Have you ever lied to me?
Have I ever lied to you? Okay, I've definitely taken some of your food before. The Cheez-It scandal. I think that's something we might want to talk about.
But that's not something that I didn't know about. I would be sitting on the couch with Christy eating my extra toasty Cheez-Its, and out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision, I see a little tiny Christy hand ready to accept the food that I'm eating because Christy...
That wasn't offered to me.
And I used to use all of her cotton pads.
My cotton rounds. To pay me back, he got me cotton balls.
That's up. No one likes...
What am I going to do with cotton balls?
Like wipe your
Take my nail polish off that I paint like once a year?
So can I... Okay, let me ask you this, because I thought about this in the shower today. Do you have a lying journey? Can you think back? Because I have a moment. Let me preface with a story. Green, yellow, and red. Do we all remember those signals in elementary school for the levels of getting in trouble? So for me, green was good, yellow was like 5 minutes off of recess, and red was 10 minutes off of recess. Blue, honey, you're in the pond. You're speaking with the principal, it's done. Also, we used to have to color in a chart that would let our parents know how our behavior was on any given day. When I would get on yellow or above, I would lose my TV privileges. But I was a big TV kid. Entertainment was my escape from reality. It was a really effective form of punishment. I never wanted to talk in school. Did it stop me? No. I remember the day I was freaking out because I got on yellow and I did not know how I was going to get away with it. My best friend at the time, I remember we were walking to meet our parents at the car pickup. And I said, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I want to watch Degrassi tonight because I used to sneakily watch that. And she looks at me and goes, just lie. Just lie, just lie, just lie, just lie. I remember repeating to her, I was like, lie.
Oh, lie.
And from that moment on, I became a fucking liar. But I went so far as taking one of those erasers to erase crayon. Have you ever erased crayon? Do you know what happens when you erase crayon?
Well, first, I call it a crayon. And second of all, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So we used to have to color in our sheets with
crayon.
And I would take the eraser and erase the yellow and color in green. And my mom was like, you fully colored over. I can see the brown residue from the...
Honestly, smart. And what's with these ass teachers not appreciating the entertainment they have in their classrooms? You obviously brought the humor to your class. Your teacher's gonna punish you for it?
Literally. That's not even a joke. Christy and I were both those kids who provided that entertainment, not only for our families, but also for these kids at school. We were putting in
Kids.
overtime. You know
We
how
did it for the
exhausting,
kids.
you know how exhausting that was?
It's a lot to put on a kid. It is.
And
no
how
one
dare you for not appreciating that?
for punishing.
That kind of childhood trauma does not go away. I still second guess every joke that I make.
There was this one time I went overboard with a joke in class. It was 6th grade English, and we had to use vocab words, and I used a sentence that had said something about poop. And Mrs. That is inappropriate. Do not bring up poop in my classroom. I was like, I wrote it and I was like, this is gonna be so funny. Everyone's gonna laugh their ass off. And I said the word poop, and she was like,
imagine what Christy would be like today if she was not beaten down by the man that was the public education system of Massachusetts. How dare you? This bitch would have been a comedian if it weren't for Mrs. Newsflash, poop is funny.
one of the funniest things.
Why don't we talk about some just bullshit childhood lies? Do you have any in mind?
Yeah, I do. It might have been middle school, and I wasn't an art kid, but I enjoyed art. I found this like picture of an elephant. So I traced the elephant, and it was like beautiful. Like, we're talking Van Gogh level artistic abilities here. Like, everyone was like, oh, it's so good, it's so good. Obviously my art teacher knew I traced it, but I came home to show my mom and my sister, and everyone was like, Chrissy, this is so good. And I was like, thank you.
I freehanded it.
Literally, they were like, did you draw this yourself? I was like, yeah. I want to hear some of your childhood lies, because I feel like you have some good ones.
Oh, honey, like bullshit childhood lies. Did you have the weekend news? So you'd come into school on Monday and you would draw a picture of what you did that weekend and you would share with the class.
We didn't have that.
Okay, well, it shows. That's why you're not as expressive as me. But anyway, moving on. One time we got to share with a different teacher. So we did like a swap classroom. I feel like that happened a lot in childhood. You would swap teachers, whatever. It wasn't because we had a low budget or anything, but anyway, we swapped classes, and she was going around asking all the students what they did that weekend. Raised my hand. I'm going surfing in Sacramento. I am from Connecticut. You can't go to Sacramento for 2 days.
I have a question for you. Do you have a lie that you can recall that you regret?
Oh my God. How did I forget to talk about this? Brianna, if you're listening, this is going to be so much fun. Okay, I got caught in a lie. Christy, have I ever told you this story? I was on my first date with a gentleman. I was so nervous. When I say gentleman, we were both like 17, 18. I was in high school, senior in high school. We decided that we were going to be going to a bowling alley. I had my best friend Brianna for support. He had like 5 of his friends for support. His mom didn't know that he drove 45 minutes to my town to hang out with me at a bowling alley. He gets a text he checks Find My Friends and sees that his mom is in the town that we're in. He comes up to me and we're like halfway through bowling. I'm like, he's like,
Devon, I'm so sorry, you have to leave. If my mom catches me here with you, it's going to be problematic.
Me and Brianna leave. I'm turned off. I'm like, that's so weird. And then he's like,
please meet us again at the mall.
We get to the mall. I'm like, fine, whatever. I tell Brianna, I'm like, Brianna, I will not stay in this mall for longer than 20 minutes. I'm already so put off. She was like,
I will rescue you, like text me.
We get to the mall and we're walking around. He's like,
do you want to go like sit in my car?
I was like, okay. I had like no previous experience with men before. We're sitting in the car and he's like, you know, when they like, they're like ready for a kiss.
Like, you're like this far apart and they're like.
So I was like, okay. And then we do it. Christy, slobber, like Angus Thong's in Perfect Snogging, like the slobber line that I had to wipe off of my face. I was like, okay, well, I think there's actually a party tonight in that I have to go to and leave right now. This was like 6 p.m. Like, there was no party.
Yeah.
Brianna picks me up and we go to Chili's. We're sitting at Chili's eating our 2 for $20 chips and guac in hand. I'm telling her how terrible the experience was. And in walks him and his 4 friends. The boy scurries past like dramatically. And then the friend goes,
a party? Really? You guys are going to a party?
Trying to get like in our faces. And we were like, and I got
way.
I got caught in that lie.
How did I not hear that? I knew your first date was like bowling, but I did not know you got caught in the lie. That is funny. Were you a bragger?
No, because I didn't have much to brag about. And if I did brag, it was a lie.
Wah, wah.
I don't say that like I didn't have I had a good childhood. Wait, can we make ourselves cry? If you can produce a tear, I will send you a gift card to McDonald's. Okay.
As a reminder, Devon and I are dedicating this video to make a contribution to Beam. We encourage you all to donate and continue to educate yourself and educate other people around you about this movement and help support it and end all systems of oppression.
Absolutely. And we'll be linking Beam's website. And you can click a tab that says donate or how to support us. And that's where you can go ahead and do that. But we'll also be linking the master list with several different organizations that are either Black owned or that are supporting Black and marginalized communities during this time. Any contribution will help.